What happens when you mix Skeet Ulrich, Cuba Gooding Jr., a deadly military bioweapon, and an ice cream truck? You get Chill Factor, the action thriller that tried to be Speed, but with more popsicles and way less Keanu.
Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies of the late 90s and early 2000s. And this week we're covering the 1999 action film Chill Factor. But before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here's a few ways that you can.
You can buy us a cup of coffee on ko-fi.com. Every contribution helps us keep the Blockbuster vibes alive. Visit us at ko-fi.com/no more late fees.
And if you want more hot takes, deep dives, and behind the scenes fun, make sure you join our Patreon for exclusive bonus episodes and perks at patreon.com/no more late fees.
Looking for nostalgic merch to add to your collection? Check out our Amazon store for curated picks inspired by the 90s and 2000s. Just head to amazon.com/shop/no more late fees podcast. So
Well,
Danielle,
yeah,
what's Chill Factor about?
it's a movie that Jackie pulled my arm to make me watch, but I guess in more context. It's about two regular guys, one ex-soldier and one ice cream man, who end up on the run with a stolen military chemical weapon called Elvis, which must be kept below 50 degrees or it detonates. Persuaded by terrorists and the government, they're forced into a cross-state chase in an ice cream truck while trying not to blow up half the country. The movie stars Skeet Ulrich, Cuba Gooding Jr., Peter Firth, and Hudson Lick. The movie was directed by Hugh Johnson and written by Drew Gitlin and Mike Chetta. Mhm.
The way you tried to stifle that giggle. Well, we have Hugh Johnson and then Mike Chetta.
You can currently watch this gem on Tubi. And Tubi shout out. Thank you for letting me watch this without any commercials somehow. I don't know why,
Oh,
but
we
I'm
had
grateful.
commercials on ours.
Not a commercial. It kept skipping it. I said, I don't know what cheat code I found. But before we start, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again,
The best would play on repeat,
5-day rental,
would watch again.
2-day rental,
Okay, but nothing to write home about.
and same-day rental.
Blow it up, Elvis. It's trash.
Well,
All right.
Danielle, what was your Y2K rating of Chill Factor?
Surprisingly, Y2K Danielle never seen this movie, heard this movie, looked at this movie, didn't know it existed till you put it on the calendar for 2025 season. How about you, Jackie?
There are certain movies, especially when I worked for Blockbuster, that I would hyperfixate on.
Hmm.
And this was like one of the first. It came out in 99, which means it hit the shelves at Blockbuster right after I started working there.
Mm.
And I owned this on VHS.
Mm.
I was obsessed. This was right after Scream Skeet. And so, like, you couldn't tell me that this wasn't a masterpiece. Would buy it. Did
Mm.
buy it. Did own it.
For something that you imprinted it so hard on, I'm shocked that you didn't try to make me watch this.
I am too.
The Lord was watching out for me, but there's only so much that can be done at times. But I'm glad, I mean, before we get into all the lack of fun facts we have for this one, I would like to talk about Skeet Ulrich and post-Scream movies TV shows that caught our eye. So I didn't hear about Chill Factor, but there were two TV, well, there's a TV movie and a TV show that Skeet was in that I was like, I love this man. The first one was this TV show called Jericho. It was canceled too soon on CBS. It was Jericho and Joan of Arcadia I would watch on CBS. I'd rarely ever watch CBS shows, but those two got me. Jericho was about this city. So he's kind of the character he plays is he's left for a long time to be in the military. Nobody kind of really knows what he was doing in the military. I can't believe I even remember this plot. But he comes back home and shit is going down. Like the city has been taken over and they don't know by who. You don't know what country, you don't know what the fuck is going on. So
Hmm.
I think it's like equivalent to that Patrick Swayze movie that was remade by Liam
Red
Hemsworth.
Dawn.
Yes, it's similar to it gives that vibe. And so you see him interacting with like his high school sweetheart, his family, his brother. Like there's all this tension because he's been gone, but also you're starting to see he has a certain set of skills.
Mm.
Like what were you doing in the armed forces kind of thing. So I love that show. I think it only had two seasons and it was canceled, and it was so good. And the second one was a TV movie with my girl Carrie Russell. I think it's like The Magic of Ordinary Days. It's
Mhm.
almost like a Hallmark movie. You would hate it. You would hate it. But I loved it. I loved it so much because she plays this woman who gets pregnant by somebody. I don't know if he dies or he abandons her. And so she's taken to some like out in the nowhere boonies and is made a deal with this man who is a very simple man. He has a house and he marries her with baby in tow, no questions. And they don't like she's kind of an asshole, whatever,
Mhm.
to him at first. And then they fall in love. And I loved it. I watch it all the time. I still watch it. And those are my favorite Skeet movies besides Scream. Well, things that he's in, I guess you could say. But not Chill Factor. So now I'm going to make you watch The Magic of Ordinary Days. That will be my movie to make you watch.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else aside from Chill Factor.
That he's in. I mean, I
Yeah.
watched Riverdale a little bit before it started to, it was just like I can do weird and crazy and just like a teen drama, but that show started getting way off the rails. I was like, even I can't keep up with this shit. That's how insane it was.
Yeah, there was nothing else. It was like this, The Craft, and Scream. Anywho, tell us about the box office, Danielle.
Hmm. Now, I love when a movie has a range that they don't know how much the budget was, but they said the budget for this movie was 34 to 70 million dollars.
Mm,
Shooketh because I think this budget is more than some of our favorite films that did really well.
yes.
And it made $11.8 million worldwide. That shocks me too, because who was seeing this? You didn't see it in the theater, right?
No,
Yeah.
no. Well, the domestic box office for September 1st, when this was released, was very strong. We've talked about it on the podcast before. 1999 was a banger year for movies.
Yeah.
And so this kind of got lost in the sauce, I think, is somewhat of it because I could see Cuba at the time was huge.
Yeah.
Skeet was known. So on the surface, on paper, it looks like this movie should have at least done decently, made its money back.
Right.
But
Well, not that budget though. That's an inflated ass budget.
yeah. Well, and it's such a wide range, 34 to 70.
Yeah. And I don't think they were doing marketing.
Yeah.
Right? I
But
don't know what was going on.
top of the box office, top five were The Sixth Sense, Stigmata, Blue Streak, Double Jeopardy, and For the Love of the Game.
Which, and honestly, if I was at the studio looking at what was coming out, no one saw The Sixth Sense coming.
Mm-mm.
Because Sixth Sense, was it Disney produced? Who made that one?
I I have
I
it
think
pulled
it
up.
was because, and we did this movie. I
Yes,
think it
it
had to have
was.
been because it was part of the contract that Bruce Willis
Yep.
had to do this movie. Was it this movie? No, he had to do the kid
Yeah.
part
But
of
it
his
was a
contract.
Disney
Yeah.
Studios.
And stigmata, usually horror movies or religious horror movies don't kill like this one.
Hmm.
So I could see those two being kind of surprises. And Blue Streak, not so much because Martin Lawrence was on his in his bag at this time. So, and maybe Double Jeopardy was a surprise. I don't know. I could see them thinking that they were gonna do better than, and I don't know who was seeing for the love of the game. Women, I guess.
Baseball people.
Oh, what was that one about? Was that Kevin Carson Costner?
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Runaway Bride, I was seeing that one. That was number six. Must have been. And
Well, even
crazy.
American Beauty at 12, like that was a sleeper hit. I don't think they expected it to be.
What when this is September?
Yeah.
'Cause- Well, this would have been the perfect time for it to come out because it's his Oscar bait season.
Hmm.
So yeah, that makes sense. I'm shocked. I'm looking at the rest of the list that Mickey Blue Eyes was high,
Yeah,
higher than Chill Factor. Star of Echoes, we're going to be doing that one soon.
we are.
All right.
Okay.
So according, I'm just gonna I didn't fact check it completely, but according to Wikipedia, it said that this was one of the biggest box office flops in history because of, I guess, the budget, you know, from how much it made.
Hmm.
Roger Ebert described this movie as cliche in every sense of the word, while something called Total Film reviewed the film favorably, awarding it 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Is that favorably or just mediocre? Or like run of the mill?
It's middle ground. We got to take all the wins that we can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into cast and crew, let's hear a message from our pod pals.
In a world of box office blockbusters and binge watching, a duo of friends have assembled together to watch everything ever created. They are the Screen Addicts, and they are here to deliver a podcast that is insightful, comical, and the greatest sound your ears will ever hear. Prepare to empty your watch list, as the Screen Addicts podcast is here to be your guide, now streaming on all available platforms or wherever you get your podcasts.
So this was cinematographer Hugh Johnson's only directorial effort.
He's a cinematographer on a lot of really cool projects,
Hmm.
but I could see, and honestly, I don't think he did a bad job from
No.
like directing. It's just when you get a bomb like this, it's hard to come back. And apparently, Skeet and Cuba previously had appeared in a movie together, which was As Good as It Gets. And when we're reaching out straws for cast and crew fun factoids, we get both actors also later starred in films about sled dogs, chili dogs in 2001, and snow dogs in 2002.
Too bad Paul Walker wasn't in this movie. We would have hit a trifecta with Eight Below.
Trifecta. There are a lot of dog snow movies because there's what is not Balto, that's a cartoon. But there was another one with the guy from Scott, what's his name? Damn.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Wild
Wild
White
America
Fang?
guy, right? Oh, well, Fang was one of those movies, but the actor
Chris
was
O'Donnell.
Barstow.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was in a movie with dogs.
Sure he was.
You're like, I have no interest in knowing what it is, but I'm sure he was.
So, like you could tell, and like very obviously that this was trying to capture the spirit of Speed. Like
Yeah,
high stakes, trying to save like a group of people from a terrorist attack for all intents and purpose. It just couldn't catch that lightning in a bottle.
Because I
I
wasn't invested. I was like, let that fucking thing blow up. Like, I didn't care.
It's like we're in Montana. How many people could there possibly be?
Right. Well, usually in Montana, I think the populations are in concentrated areas.
Yes.
We've already talked about this quite a bit that Montana is a place that I do not want
Yes.
to venture because I'm scared.
Yes. I will also say, enjoyed the camaraderie between Skeet and Cuba. I think they fed off of each other well.
Yeah.
Let's get into the movie.
Oh, I had the wrong guy, by the way. I think the movie I was thinking was a Disney movie called Iron Will that came out in 94.
Yes.
And that starred what is that kid's name? Mackenzie Aston.
Okay.
All right. I just had to get that off my brain.
So the opening scene, we're on a military base somewhere remote on an island
In the 80s.
in the 80s. Yes. And we see that Dr. Richard Long, who is played by David Paymer, has developed a deadly chemical weapon, which he calls Elvis. So it's designed to be more lethal than nuclear bombs, but without the fallout. And so during a live demonstration for the military people, I don't know, he realizes that they had misjudged the calculations and like the radius was way greater than they had initially thought.
When I saw that part, I was like, how do you fuck that up so bad? Like, isn't that the primary thing you should be making
Yeah.
sure?
Especially if you're going to go out and do this demo on an inhabited island.
Right. Which I kind of feel like if they were testing, everybody should have been in a centralized place. Like I didn't understand why they were even allowed to be out there regardless of
Yeah.
the radius.
Yeah, like because we see that the doctor, like all of the lab people are in like this concrete bunker that is safe from any of this nuclear weapon or
Right.
bio weapon.
And there was tons of room. There's only eight because heard over and over again there were 18 soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So there was room for them to be in the bunker. Like I don't know if somebody was needed to press a button. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, so we send Benny from the Mummy out to place the
Was it really him?
Yeah, because at
Oh.
first I was like, is that Walton Goggins? Because the teeth. And then Ken was like, no, that's Benny from the Mummy. I was like, you know what? It is Benny from the Mummy.
I didn't even notice. I was barely looking at the screen.
So we quickly see, like, and the other caveat to this weapon is it has to be kept cold. It's like a gel. And so if it goes below 50 degrees, it melts, and then that's when it becomes a hazard.
Right.
So Dr. Long, while they're watching this stuff melt in like the test area, is like, oh shit, calculations are wrong. Get everyone in. And so, but obviously they don't do it in time. And so we see it melt, and then all of the people are like essentially like disintegrated by like heat.
Yeah, that shit was rough.
And then like Benny realizes it. He hears over the radio like, get in, like you need to get to safety. So he's driving in his Jeep, but like the impact site kind of overcomes him. And so he comes up to the bunker and he's just like burned, just charred, and like trying to get in. And they're like, we can't let the fallout get inside.
Right.
And so we can't let him in. And so then we see the
I don't know, like the trial, like a court martial, something
yes,
like because
the
what's the
colonel
yeah,
allowed the doctor to
to
do
do the
this one
test.
test. Yeah. So Colonel Andrew Brenner, it doesn't matter, played by Peter Firth, We see his trial. And the doctor tries to say, like, no one knew, like, it was a miscalculation. It was no one's fault that this happened. Like, but he was still sentenced to 10 years in prison, essentially for the deaths of all these soldiers, because
Right.
someone had to take the blame for it.
And he also, like, his title got taken away. I don't know if he
Yeah.
was demoted or something happened there, but he kind of, the colonel told the scientist, like, someone's got to take the fall, and of course it's going to be me, while they're still going to be using you to keep making all these dangerous things. And it's also noted that the colonel does not agree with this weapon being made in the
Hmm.
first place at all. And the scientist tries to reassure him, like, I wouldn't even be working on this if it was bad. You guys are literally trying to come up with a bomb. What do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you think that's going to be used for?
Yeah. And the colonel all along is like, if this falls into the wrong hands,
Yeah.
it could be devastating.
So essentially, Chill Factor is us watching this man's villain origin
Yes.
story.
Yes. Because 10 years being persecuted for something that he did not develop, he did not deploy. He okayed the deployment, but he did not
No,
actively
yeah.
deploy it. Yeah, he's turned into the dark side. And he's like, okay, you want to, I'll fight fire with fire. I'll steal this weapon and sell it to the highest bidder and prove y'all that I am right.
Yeah. And he was.
Yeah.
My question is, when did he have time to get all these people, have a plan? Like, I know he had time to make the plan, but how did he coordinate these efforts with all these people to get, like, as soon as he got out of
Yeah.
prison, it was go time.
Yeah. I just chalk it up to the Ocean's 11 effect.
Okay.
Like we just walk out still in our suit and tie, and then we're like, okay, let's start the next deal. Like somehow we've talked about this, planned it. No one knows about it except for us. Hit the ground running.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. So we cut to 10 years later. Dr. Long is now living a quiet life in Montana. He's still working for the military in the labs, and he fly fishes. He befriends this kid Tim Mason, played by Skeet. They just go fly fishing together. Tim works at a diner on the swing shift, and so just like a relatively quiet existence, trying to forget. He is still, I feel like he is still haunted by what happened. But he is also, as the colonel had pointed out, still being utilized by the military to develop
Right.
products. So yeah, like we said, the colonel gets out. He already has a team ready to go, and their mission is to steal Elvis and sell it. And
Which is
so
the bomb,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
And so we see the colonel and his lackeys break into the lab. I can't even remember now how the doctor caught wind that they were on their way.
I don't know either.
I feel like the colonel may have even like called him or something. Like it was something like a monologuing situation where the doctor or the scientist knew that they were coming. And so he's able to steal or like remove Elvis and is shot in the process. And so he shows up at the diner where Tim works, and he like gives him Elvis, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to get to this other military base. Let them know that Colonel blah 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 is after it. He's going to sell it to he's trying to sell it to other countries. Oh, by the way, it has to be kept under 50 degrees or it'll explode."
Right.
And then the doctor dies, or the scientist man dies. And so Tim is just like, the fuck, like he feels really bad because like he was friends with Dr. Long, And
Right.
so, but then he also sees like across the street because it's this tiny, sleepy little town where everyone kind of knows everyone.
Yeah.
And he sees across the street like these men in like
Military gear. Yeah.
yeah, and like black jackets and stuff are heading inside. So they quickly hide the doctor in the storage room. They shove the Elvis in the ice maker thing. And at the same time, we see what's his name? Arlo, played by Cuba Gooding Jr., come in to deliver ice cream. And there is an exchange before the men come inside between Arlo and Tim about like you're not the usual ice cream guy. And then Arlo wants cash for the ice cream and Tim's like I can't approve that. I have to talk to Linda or whoever the diner is.
Right.
And like you kind of feel like something's going on like Arlo's not on the up and up.
Right.
And so but Arlo helps cuz he's like or like I'm assuming that he helps get the doctor like shoot away and stuff like that. And then so the military men leave and Skeet's Tim's like I need your truck because we have to keep this shit cold and I have to get it to this other facility.
What I don't understand is when the colonel came in to harass them and he just walked in the back first and foremost.
Yeah.
He didn't see the blood footsteps that because he had gotten blood on
Hmm.
his shoes. So I would have thought he would have figured it out pretty more quickly than he did. Also, he had he had ordered an iced coffee and he got a hot coffee and didn't complain about it. And I don't know why that bothered me so much because he goes for the ice, but he can't because Elvis is in the ice, so he
Yeah.
can't maneuver around it, which I'm thinking you could have opened the other side of the ice thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that was something I hyper fixated on because I'm like, this is real stupid shit right now happening.
So Tim's like demanding the ice cream truck, and Arlo's like, "No, I have." And he keeps harping on how it's like the shittiest ice cream known to man. Like he's like, "I got $10,000 worth of the world's shittiest ice cream in the back of that truck. I have to deliver." Blah blah blah. So it finally comes out that Arlo has stolen this truck because Andy, the owner of the ice cream, has like screwed him over in some fashion, hasn't paid him or whatever.
Hmm.
Also, the truck is known for having like fits where it just doesn't work. And so the men are coming back over to look at the truck this time because they hear it. I guess they didn't hear it start. Doesn't matter. They come over to start looking at the ice cream truck, and Arlo is trying to get it started, and Skeet's in the passenger seat, like laying down so they don't see him. And at some point, Arlo is now just under the truck, like hiding. Like it was a very odd interaction, but they finally. Oh, and then because the truck won't start, they just put it in neutral and just have it quietly roll through
Hmm.
town, and then are able to start it. I'm assuming since it's like in another gear. So now we're on our way to the military base to deliver this weapon to the correct hands.
And they start fighting about which way to go or that they're even going. I forgot
Yes.
what city they were saying they were going to, but Arlo,
Missoula.
yeah,
They were
he's like,
going through Missoula.
I'm not going to Missoula. I'm not going. I'm like, okay, what is in Missoula? You owe child support? I don't get what's happening right now.
Arlo is wanted in Missoula.
All I know is the only time I got excited watching this movie is when the actress Hudson Leek came
Hmm.
on. So there's only one girl on the bad guy team, short blonde haircut, and I was like, that's Callista. So I don't know how many of you guys listening are Xena Warrior Princess fans, but she played Callista on the show for quite a few episodes. She shows up, and she a real bad girl. Love her on
Wow.
that show. Just had to shout that out. That's what got me excited.
So now we are driving, and Skeet's like, we're going through Missoula. Like, you can't fucking tell me. And so then it comes out that Arlo has stolen the truck, and like he's worried about Andy seeing the truck because Andy is located in Missoula.
Right.
Um,
But he does clarify, he does work for Andy, has worked diligently for
mhm.
Andy for a long time. And there was a deal that was made that after a certain amount of time, he was going to provide, like give him, was it going to give him a truck or something? I don't remember what it was, or money.
I think it was money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andy did not keep his end of the bargain. And so that causes Arlo to be pissed and steal the truck.
Yes. And now we're driving, and we're on like this super twisty, turny, like mountain road. And Brenner and his henchmen are like not far behind. And a couple of them like have motorcycles, so they speed up and around the truck and stuff. And so there are a couple of parts that just didn't make much sense. Like the guy that jumps down from a higher part of the mountain in front of
Yeah.
the truck to shoot at them, but then just like splats like a bug on the windshield. And Ken was literally like, what did he think was gonna happen?
I think he thought he could fly. I honestly, my soul left my body watching this part because I'm like, I again have no skin in this game. I don't care for any of these people. So let's wrap it up. Y'all gonna die. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So also a portion of the road is blown up. And this is like a giant ass box truck. And so they're trying to like squeak it by, and like the tire is like hanging off the side of the mountain. And like I have been on plenty of mountain road. And you know, like if you're on the side that faces like the drop,
hmm
like you don't even want to look down a little bit. You just want to
Mm-mm.
pretend it's not happening until it's over.
Yeah.
And Tim is literally just like, you're good, you're good. Like almost hanging out of the window while one tire is just spinning in air because there is no road beneath you.
Tim has been through some stuff.
He
Tim has
has.
seen some things. So I just summed it up to this is nothing.
He has. There is a like background, which I feel like we get way too late in the movie
Yeah.
about Tim and the reason why he just like works at this diner, but he's incredibly smart, is because he and his best friend were celebrating because they were part of the high school football team. They were both, or like his friend got drafted to the NFL. So they went out celebrating, and Tim was driving drunk and ended up killing his friend in an accident. And so Tim
Yes,
has,
because we go
go
ahead.
ahead, sorry.
We did when the cops came to ask about a teenager
Yes.
that did he sell liquor to? Because he was doing an overnight shift that, and so we find out that there's beef between him and the local police officers, and that he is maybe not as a stand-up guy. So that's when we first get the hint of everything.
Yes. And they're like, we know your history, blah, blah, blah. But also, it's kind of like, well, yeah, it's devastating what happened. But Tim was also like a high school kid. It wasn't like, and it wasn't an intentional thing that
Right.
he did. So we get through the harrowing mountainside chase. They get away. They go into Missoula, but then I think they end up at Andy's because they need a different truck at this point.
Yeah, because the truck falls on its side at some point, so they now need to get another truck, and so they go. But the colonel is ahead of them. He's figured out who Arlo is, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and tracks it back to the ice cream place or the trucking company. And so he's waiting there for him because they split up because Tim is going to go find more ice for Elvis.
That's right. Yeah.
And so we get to see the dynamics between Arlo and his boss or whoever. And he's like, I'm going to kill this guy. And he's like, well, this man owes me money. I don't know. And so he's like, Arlo, save me. So he calls Tim and begs. So while he's begging Tim, like, hey, you're going to need to come back. they found us, whatever. And while he's in this like general store, I guess you could say, getting the ice, he sees like fishing gear things that look
Yes.
similar to the like little pellet things that are in the thing for Elvis. So this is when Tim makes a switcheroo so that he can set what's his face up. So they get on a call and they make a plan to do a switch. It's Arlo for Elvis.
Hmm.
And so they're over a dam, I think, like the bridge of a
Yes.
dam. And he's got this fishing gear hanging, quote unquote, the fake Elvis over the dam. And which I think is dangerous regardless. If even if you're trying to, it's fake, like this thing could be set off at any point and you're going to blow up a dam.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah.
And so they do the switch, but unbeknownst to Tim, the colonel's like, you're not getting out of here that quickly, and has one of his men shoot Tim in the foot, I think, or
In the
leg.
leg. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then they fall, they get captured. They think they have Elvis and they try to, they leave. And then Vaughn, aka Callista, starts beating up on Tim real bad. He's
Yeah.
not doing well.
And then they have Tim and Arlo like strapped behind. It's the scene behind you. Like they're zip tied on the dam, and they take like a tiny little spoonful and put it in front of them, and have like cameras on them so that Brenner can show his potential buyers what exactly Elvis can do.
Right. But it's obviously not working. The
Hmm.
buyers start pulling out. And at the same time, they realize that military helicopters are heading their way. So the military has been briefed of like knowing what's going on.
Yes.
And so all of this is all culminating at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, I remember why we need another truck because, yeah, the truck falls on its side. And so then they take some man's aluminum boat and slide down the side of a mountain into a river. We forgot about
Right.
that.
I forgot it was trucks, boats,
Yes.
and helicopters. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yes, you're so right. They take a without a paddle.
It was the without a paddle approach.
Yeah.
And then Tim's like, "Oh, it's okay. Like this water is less than 50 degrees, so I'll just put Elvis in the water and we'll be good." But like the case it's in is mechanical. Like there's like a temperature gauge. Like I don't think that's waterproof.
I also feel like they put it in a poker stack thing.
Yes. So that was when he made the fake Elvis. And he took the real vials of Elvis out and put it in like the poker chip stacker thing to just keep it organized and like contained. And then he put the fake Elvis stuff in the real canister so that when they gave it to Brenner, it looked legit.
Yeah.
And so also at one point, like Arlo is trying to jumpstart the truck again, and he like licks his fingers and then like touches the battery, I'm assuming, and he makes this like noise.
Did Ken call that out for being fake?
No, high
Oh.
hilarity in the Conley household
Oh.
every time that scene played out.
Why?
We just thought it was fucking hilarious. I couldn't tell you why.
Okay.
So now, like you said, the military has been alerted, and Tim is in contact with the military. So he's like, hey, they have the fake Elvis. I have the real Elvis, but now somehow we're stuck in a tunnel. And the military's like, we're going to have to seal the tunnel and just let it detonate. And Tim's like, I don't have enough stuff to keep it cold. The temperature's rising, and the military's like, yeah, we're just gonna seal off this tunnel, let it detonate. We're willing to sacrifice who's ever in the tunnel for it, just to get this like done and over with type thing.
Right. And why they're stuck in the tunnel is because Mr. Magoo over here, who's working for the local sheriff's office or
Yes.
whatever, has stopped them, and he's like he's focusing on the dead body thinking it was Tim and not
Yeah.
knowing all the stuff. And he's like, I'm on the phone with the military right now, and he's not hearing it. So he's stuck. So they do blow up a bunch of like rocks or whatever
Hmm.
to close off one end of the tunnel. And then somebody who's in there with his car, he's like, I got me some ice back in the cooler for some bears. So, you know, he's able to get some ice on it and tell the military, like, you don't have to see like I got ice. And then the temperature starts to like start go back down, but it takes a while. And Arlo's ass is scared. And he goes hide behind the car, like, dude, that's not gonna save you.
Mm-mm.
And so we're good to go. And they find an escape route. There's like a ladder,
An air
but
shaft. Yeah.
right, because I didn't know where that went. I was like, oh, they can get out. But of course, Colonel ain't having that.
Mm-mm. I can't even remember what happens with the colonel now.
Is there a fight or do they start
You know
shooting?
what? There is a fight. So the
Yeah,
colonel is now in the tunnel
right.
too.
Hmm.
And I I'm pretty sure what happens is that the colonel gets hold
Oh,
of
yeah,
of Elvis, and at this point, like they've gotten all of the civilians out through the air shaft. And so it's like a last ditch effort and very high suspense is like Tim fighting with the colonel. We see the temperature rising again. And like at the last second, Tim is able to get out and like put the manhole cover back on the air shaft, and
it
the
blows
bomb
them.
detonates with the colonel holding it.
And they make sure we see him disintegrate pretty bad. Also,
Yes.
at some point, Arlo, doesn't he help him by like stabbing the colonel or hitting him or something? I can't remember.
I'm
I
sure
thought,
there was like a like, oh no, the colonel's about to best Tim, and then here
right,
comes Arlo
to
rescuing
help
him.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, crisis averted. Elvis has been neutralized. The colonel is no more, and now it kind of ends in one of those like just pulling back from the scene as like there's helicopters and like EMS and like heat blankets and stuff, and like Arlo and Tim are now just heroes in this situation. And then we go to credits.
Well, they do ask the military, the guy who's in charge of like the whole thing, they're like, hey, don't we get something like at all for saving the world or something?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I could have you pretty much put in jail because you're civilians being a part of this secret military situation, or I can let you guys go. And they're like, we're cool. And then all
We
of a
good.
sudden there's these two EMS women. And so these EMS girls come and then you hear them flirting with them all the way to the end. And it's just like, yeah, ridiculous.
Yep. And that is chill factor. We did it, Danielle.
Let's look at whatever little facts we have. I don't even have words. So I read an article that someone wrote about the movie saying it wasn't as bad. And they said, I become death, destroyer of worlds is a line that Christopher Nolan used for Oppenheimer,
Mhm.
but who knew that he lifted it verbatim from Chill Factor and Dr. Richard Long? And then somebody wrote, Nolan did not lift it from your movie, silly. Oh, Oppenheimer, who's a real person, said it in
Yes.
an NBC news documentary. This movie sounds too silly even for me. Nope.
Ah, sometimes the truth hurts.
Mm. Okay, what else do we got? I don't even know if there's any.
While Chill Factor had clearly set out to imitate a previous box office success, like we had mentioned earlier in Speed, the source is not from Speed as much as it is from The Wages of Fear from 1953, a classic French thriller about truck drivers hauling packages of unstable nitroglycerin across treacherous South American terrain. The Wages of Fear was remade by William Friedkin as Sorcerer from 1977.
And someone said there's a reason why they didn't try to remake it again. And I would have to agree wholeheartedly. As for just some fun, where it was filmed, fun facts, it was set in Montana, but most of the film was shot in Liberty, South Carolina. And for the diner sequences and parts of were filmed in parts of northeastern Utah, in particular the Flaming Gorge Dam.
Ah.
So none of this was in Missoula, Montana.
And
And yeah.
the exterior diner scenes were filmed in the small town of Liberty, South Carolina, like we had mentioned. And in real life, the diner is a wood shop and the $15 a night hotel is a laundromat.
Oh,
Which just doctored up the town a little bit.
had to. Had to. Well, that's it. I will say that their chemistry is okay. It wasn't the worst.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the best. And I know Cuba Gooding Jr. can be funny. Has
Mm-hmm.
anybody seen Boat Trip? I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
Are we doing Boat Trip this year? Or do we mix
No!
it?
No, we are not. I hope we never have to do that movie. But I seriously, he can be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it was just like he was just pure ridiculousness in this
Yes,
movie. I should have taken a gummy. I think I would have enjoyed it more.
I think so too.
Yeah. Just as a
All
reminder,
right.
if you have any thoughts, comments, or whatnot, make sure you hit us up at No More Late Fees on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Threads, and Blue Sky. Let's get into these ratings. Me, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it a 2-day rating.
Okay.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I was barely paying attention. Barely paying attention, I still was able to re to go through the plot.
Yeah.
I have no feelings. Like it left me with nothing. I'm not angry. I'm not happy. It's just I got through it.
I feel like that's the best I could hope for. Is just you're not mad at this movie. It was
Now,
just there for you.
yeah. But now you rewatched it. How do you feel about it? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Go ahead and say goodbye. Go ahead and say it.
No, because I did not buy it, but I will give it The Kid in King Arthur's Court. There's nothing wrong with this movie. Like, if you just want a silly little action in the vein of Speed with witty banter, it's entertaining enough. Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this movie. I'm giving it a 5-day rental. I'll watch it again. I might watch it again sometime this month if I'm have nothing to watch. Yeah.
Well, I don't have any words.
And it isn't even like the nostalgia factor because I wasn't like, yeah, there were scenes where I'm like, oh yeah, I really enjoy seeing watching. Like, I really enjoyed the scene when it came out or whatever. But I'm like, there's way worse shit out there.
That
So,
there is.
well, if you have any fond memories of Chill Factor or Jericho or anything else you'd like to talk to us about, hit us up at our quick drop 909-601-6653. You can also text us at that number. You can twat us at the Twitter, hem us at the Threads, butterfly in the sky at Blue Sky, and you could be featured on a future episode.
And don't miss next week as we get ready for football season with Remember the Titans.
We are the Titans, mighty, mighty Titans. I'm sad you didn't join along.
I'm sorry. Still trauma.
Yes.
That's the word. I'm just in a trauma spin.
Yeah. I can understand why you
Oh, I
would
mean
want
for
to
this
cheer.
movie still.
Oh, this movie? Not even Remember the Titans. There was no trauma in this movie. It was just like it was there.
You
It's
know what it
fine.
was? It was the buildup that I'm gonna like for months now that this was coming. It really wasn't as bad as I thought.
Oh, good. I'm glad to
But
hear that at
but I don't
least.
want you to take that as like I liked it because you know
No, no, you still gave it a solid 2 day. I respect it. Uh,
I gave it a 2 day, but I never want to watch it again.
Valid.
Okay, good.
That's
Don't try to
fine.
make me watch.
Well, next time we're at your house, if we can't find anything to watch, I'm gonna put
That's
it on.
never never gonna happen.
And as always, be kind, chill out, and rewind.
Kill me.